In the times of ancient being there lived a man that was complex. He spoke to himself words of wisdom as the birds chirped outside his window. The man was much darker in skin color than this man here. Very pale man. The man was not very pale. The man was very tan. If anybody disagreed with this man about his tanness, he would destroy them with his tanness. So, for it, for it is, we're going about like a year into this COVID thing. Quite interesting. I think the more and more we dive into this COVID thing, the more and more I let myself go, health-wise, working out-wise, weight-wise, shaving-wise. I think you start to understand what's important and what's not. Like being loving and being a kind person to the people around you. That's pretty much like the utmost importance. Cue door. That was really interesting. I think the other thing that's really interesting that a lot of people don't understand is just slowing down and being present. And once you slow down and you're present, as long as you're doing the things that you love and doing the things that you're passionate about, you can be kind and loving and empathetic towards others. It's a dualistic thing. Can't have one without the other. Can't have one without the other. I think that's a song. Not sure. I think the one thing that all of us struggle with is wanting to attain beauty. Cue coughing. Wanting to attain love, right? I think that's like a big struggle for pretty much everybody. You could attain love within you in solitude. But eventually you want to share that love with others and be with others. And then that's when the societal trick happens, I guess you could say. Well, at least in our culture, in our society. Most people, they want to live in comfort. So, you need to do certain things in order to live in comfort. People want to feel safe. You need to do certain things for other people to feel safe. You can't just sit in front of a window, look at a window like I am doing right now. You actually start to, or you have to start to get up and start to attain things. And do something. And by doing something that creates stress and worry and overthinking, if you're doing things that you're not really purposefully doing, or you're not truly lovingly passionate about, it brings those heavy things most likely you also have to work with other people. Some people that will drive you crazy, make you worry, stressed, and overthink. And all of these things will most likely not allow you to live in the present moment, to be kind and empathetic and present, to slow down. And all that happens because you wanted to attain love or settle down with somebody. It's a very difficult game. Because of the comfort and safety issue. I don't think anybody knows how to solve that. You know, Buddha said that suffering comes from desire and from fear. Attachment, holding on to things. So the Buddhas, throughout history, they believed that, you know, one shouldn't even touch women. The monks didn't believe in that. Because it would, by touching a woman, it would promote desire. I was talking to one of my buddies about that yesterday. I think every person at a certain age gets to the point where they just want to be with another person. It's natural. You know, you spend your years with yourself, figure yourself out, you heal, you go through the trauma, you know. If you want to know anything about that, just watch my Figuring Out Depression videos, 1 through 14. I believe there's 14 of them. Figuring Out Depression is very good. And once you heal, figure yourself out, then it's just natural to want to gravitate towards people, family, you know, somebody of the opposite sex or the same sex if you're into that kind of thing. And just start a family or start something, you know, and just have somebody to talk to. Connect with that kind of thing. And if there's one thing that this COVID virus thing definitely helped me realize is that, you know, number one, I've gotten to spend much more time in solitude, which was an absolutely beautiful experience. I absolutely loved it. You know, to the point where some days I would just go overboard, like I am today. I mean, it's 12:08. I don't think I'm going to leave the house. Just most likely going to draw cats all day. Or write. Haven't even cooked yet. I have no need to see people today. But a lot of people don't get there. I think you, at first, probably have to force yourself to get there, you know, to spend that much time in solitude, where you have to just be like, no, you know, I'm going to do this. And I'm not going to be distracted with Netflix or movies or shows or anything like that. I'm just actually going to just hang out with myself. Create, become the creator. You know, go through everything. Anything that I need to go through that pops up when I'm here with myself, and just be present. Look at the clouds, look at the trees. It's an absolutely beautiful life. You also have to stay away from processed food, alcohol, drugs, you know, to some degree. I mean, like, you know, I have severe OCD and anxiety, so taking like THC, CBD pills, like edibles, it definitely helps somebody like me because I have severe OCD and anxiety. So I guess it depends on the person, because some of those like THC, CBD benefits can definitely benefit people that have such tics or illnesses, whatever it is. Um, but alcohol is definitely a mother sucker. Sleep deprivation, getting good sleep, eating healthy, stretching, walking, that kind of thing. But again, I talk about all this stuff and figuring out depression 1 through 14. I don't need to hammer it away again. And try to spend your time around loving people. As soon as you get the feeling that somebody's negative or abusive or controlling or nitpicky or doesn't talk to you correctly, get the heck away from that person as soon as possible, as quickly as possible. It's better to just be by yourself, honestly. The thing is, some people are just scared to be by themselves. I don't understand. A lot of them probably aren't the creative types. Like, if you're creative, like, Jesus H mother, if I ever, like, I could sit in a room by myself and there's several things I could be creative with. I could draw cats, I could paint, I could play guitar, I could make videos, I could write. So many things to be creative about. I could even look at the window and just look at the window for forever, it seems sometimes. Live on coffee, not get hungry. Yeah, man, it's nice. And spend your time around loving people. That's the key, man. Whenever you do get around to spending time with loving people, or people in general. But the more you heal, and the more present you are, and the more comfortable you are with finding happiness in solitude, the more and more you won't need people, or the more and more you see that somebody's abusive, or you notice that somebody's negative, or there's something wrong with the person. They're very harmful, they're unhealthy. If you find fulfillment in solitude on your own, and you're okay with being by yourself, when you see that person or when you interact with that person, like, you'll be able to pick up on things about that person. And if they seem abusive, negative, or if they don't treat you the correct way, or if they say the wrong things to you, you'll notice right away and you'll get away from them as quickly as possible. If you could find peace and fulfillment in solitude by yourself. If you can't find peace and fulfillment in solitude by yourself yet, you'll most likely, not only will you gravitate towards people that will be abusive and controlling, those predatory people that are abusive and controlling will see you from a distance, and they'll approach you and they'll take you out. It's interesting. Predators, narcissists, that kind of thing. So interesting. Give people what they need, and then they change on them, and their personality shifts. Or sometimes the personality doesn't shift at all. They're just very upfront about who they are right away. The world is so interesting. Before I go, I want to talk about the Google government. Last night I was at my sister's and I was hanging out with my niece and nephew, and we were talking about how interesting Leonardo da Vinci was, right? And I was like, yo, you know who's crazy? Sir Isaac Newton. I'm like, me and my friend Mariana, we watched like 2 documentaries of Sir Isaac Newton, and homeboy's like straight up crazy, dude. Like, he wouldn't sleep for days on end. He was like an alchemist. He was crazy. And so we were talking about Sir Isaac Newton for like 2 minutes, and my sister was like, like the alchemy, there's no such thing. And my nephew, You know, he studies a lot of stuff. So my nephew's just like, no, alchemy was a thing, man, and like we started riffing more about Sir Isaac Newton. As soon as she wakes up this morning, she turns on her phone and like her first like feed under like, you know, Google research was about Sir Isaac Newton. Yo, dude, like straight up, man. Like so the Google government's probably like tapping my sister's house, and she doesn't even have an Alexa or anything like that, or a Google. Hey Google, she doesn't have any of that stuff. So like, hey man, Google government, we're on to you. Peace, yo.